Hey everyone, welcome back. This is video 10. Today we are going to build a custom number sequence module. We will configure the system to automatically generate unique IDs for our warranty claims, giving us full control over the format. So in the last video, we built the warranty parameters table, right? That was based on singleton pattern and would save necessary configurations for warranty claims. Now we need a way to automatically generate IDs for the warranty claims like war 00012 and so on. So today we're going to create a dedicated warranty management section in the number sequence wizard. This gives our module its own space, keeps things organized and makes it easier to manage. Instead of putting our sequences in the general module, we'll create our own module entry. This way, when someone opens the number sequence wizard, they'll see a dedicated warranty management option. So let me explain the business scenario. In our fictitious example, Bluestone Industrial Components, the agents are currently typing claim IDs manually, like claim 123 or maybe warranty-ABC. It's very inconsistent. What we want is a strict format war followed by 6 digits. The system generates it automatically, no human error, no duplicates. That is the goal. Alright, so there are basically 6 phases to this. First, we create an EDT for the ID. Second, we extend the standard enum to add the module. Third, we create the number sequence module class. Fourth, we update the parameter table. Fifth, we run a job to load it. And sixth, we verify it works in D365. Okay, let's get started. I have Visual Studio open and I have the BIC customer management project loaded. So phase 1, we need to create an EDT that will hold the warranty claim ID. This is the data type that the number sequence framework will generate values for. Okay, I'll right click on my project, choose add and then new item. In the add new item dialog, I'll just select data types on the left and then pick EDT string. For the name, I'll use BICWarrantyId. After that, we will click on add. Okay. Now in the properties window, I'll set the label to warranty claim ID for string size. I'll put 20. That should be plenty of room for our format. And for the help text, let's add something clear like unique identifier for the warranty claim. Let me save this with Ctrl+S. Alright, phase 1 is done. Now comes the interesting part. Phase 2 is where we extend the standard NumberSeqModule Enum. Let me explain why we do it this way. In Dynamics 365, number sequences are organized by modules, right? So you have general ledger, accounts receivable, inventory management, and so on. Each module has its own set of number sequences. By creating our own module entry, we get a dedicated spot in the number sequence wizard. This keeps our warranty sequences separate and easy to find. It gives us better organization and easier maintenance. So Application Explorer isn't open, no problem. I'll just go to View and click on Application Explorer there. Now you can see it is open. So instead of searching, I'll just expand data types, then base enums. I'll click on any record here and then just type num on my keyboard. Okay, the NumberSeq module is visible now. Let me just expand it a bit to get a good look at it. So NumberSeq module, this is the standard enum that lists all the modules in the system that can have number sequences. By extending this, we are basically registering our own module into the standard list. Now, I'll right click on NumberSeqModule and select Create Extension. This adds an extension to our project. See, it has created NumberSeqModule.bic extension in our project. Let me double click on it to open the designer. And I'll just close the Application Explorer so we have more space. Now, I'll right click on the extension and choose New Element. You can see it adds a new record with a default name, which we will have to change. So with this record selected down in the Properties window, I'll give it the name BICWarranty. And for the label, we'll set it to Warranty Management, which is what our users will see in the system. Let me save this. Alright. So now we have our own module registered in the system. When someone opens the number sequence wizard, they'll see Warranty Management as an option. Okay. Phase 3. Now we need to create the class that actually connects our module to our EDT. This is called the Number Sequence Application Module class. Okay. Time for the next step. I'll right click on the project name in the Solution Explorer, go down to Add and then select New Item. I'll select Code on the left side and then pick Class from the list. Now I need to give this class a proper name. I'll call it BICNumberSeqModuleWarranty and then click the Add button to create it. Okay, the class is created. It opens up with the default template. I have the code ready on my clipboard. So I'll just select everything here and paste our full implementation. Let's walk through this. First, notice up here that our class extends NumberSeq application module. This is the standard base class that handles the registration logic. Inside, we're overriding two main methods, NumberSeqModule and loadModule. These are the hooks the framework calls to learn about our specific number sequences. In the NumberSeqModule method here, we are simply returning NumberSeqModule : BICWarranty. This links this class back to the enum extension we created in phase 2. Now, look at the loadModule method. This is where the real configuration happens. We start by creating a NumberSeq data type object. The most important part is right here, datatype.parmDatatypeId. We pass an extended type num of BICWarrantyId to tell the system exactly which EDT the sequence is for. Then here, parm reference helps sets the description that users will see in the wizard. We are setting it to unique identifier for warranty claims. Down here, we have the wizard settings. We are setting parm wizard is continuous to false and parm wizard is manual to no to ensure it is auto-generated. We also disable changing the number down or up manually. Let's understand the manual setting. It is critical to set this to no. If it is set to yes, Dynamics 365 expects the user to type the ID by hand, which would completely bypass and break our auto-generation logic. Now about continuous. If set to yes, the system recycles numbers. If a transaction is deleted, ensuring no gaps. But this requires a heavy database lock for every number generated. So for performance, we keep it false unless there is a strict legal requirement for unbroken sequences. Finally, at the end of the method, we call this .create with the data type object. This effectively registers our configuration. One last thing, at the bottom, we have this buildModulesMap subscriber method. It subscribes to the NumberSeq global delegate to ensure our module is discovered and added to the global map. Without this, the wizard wouldn't know we exist. Alright, so let's move to phase 4. Now we need to update our BICWarranty parameters table from video 9. We're going to add a method that returns the number sequence reference. This is a standard pattern. Every parameter table that uses number sequences has these numRef methods. They provide a convenient way to access the number sequence configuration. Let me open the BICWarranty parameters table. I'll right click and select view code to open the code editor. Okay, I've opened the table code. Let me scroll down to the bottom here. Alright, let me add the method. And let's see, it is a static method called numRefWarrantyId that returns a NumberSeq reference object. Inside, we just call NumberSeqFindReference and pass in the EDT. Now, let's understand why we need this. The purpose of this method is to give us a direct link to the number sequence configuration. When we need to generate a new warranty ID later, we'll simply call this method to tell the system which sequence we want to use. Okay, that is the parameter table part done. We are ready for the next phase. Now this next step is crucial because we need to make sure D365 actually picks up all these new classes and changes we just made. Just writing the class isn't enough. D365 caches these number sequence definitions heavily for performance. We have to manually trigger a reload so the system sees our new class. We need a runnable class, basically a job that calls the load method on our module class. Okay, let's create that job. I'll right click on the project, go to add and select new item under code. I'll pick runnable class. I'll name this BICLoadNumSeq and then click add. Great, so the class is created. Let me paste the code in here. Let's break this down. First, we just instantiate our BICNumberSeqModuleWarranty class. Then we call the load method. This is the important part. It registers our new EDT with the number sequence framework. Without running this, our warranty management module simply won't appear in the wizard. Quick note for production. What we just did works perfectly in dev, but in production, you can't run jobs manually. The enterprise pattern is to use an event subscription, specifically the buildModulesMap delegate. So the system automatically discovers your module. We use the runnable class today because it is explicit and easier to learn. But for a real deployment, you'd want that delegate pattern. Okay, we are almost ready to run our job. First, I'll right click the project and select build. We need to make sure everything we built so far, the EDT, the Enum extension, and our classes are all compiled correctly. So we'll wait for it to finish compiling. Perfect. Now there is one more step before we can run the job. I'll right click on the project again and choose synchronize database. This will sync our new enum value to the database. Again, this will take a few minutes to complete. Now, you might be thinking, why do I need to sync? The code is built, right? Well, here is the thing. Enum extensions in D365 don't get their final ID until you run this sync. Without it, the database has no idea our module exists. D365 uses what we call non-deterministic values for enums. Basically, when we run this sync, D365 looks at all the extensions and assigns each one a unique ID, like 50,001 or 50,002. It then saves that mapping to the database. Without this, the system cannot translate our warranty code into something the database understands. Alright, now that the build and sync are both complete, we can finally execute our code. I'll find our job in the Solution Explorer, right click it and select Set as Startup Object. Now I'll just go up to the toolbar and click Start without debugging. This will run our job and trigger the load logic we wrote earlier. You can see down here it has started building the project. We'll just have to wait a few seconds for that to finish. Once the build succeeds, it'll automatically fire up the browser window. Okay, you can see the class runner screen has popped up. It says running class BICLoadNumSeq. So it is executing our code right now. Let's wait for it to finish. Perfect, it just completed. You can see it now says class completed. And right there in the blue ribbon at the top, there is our info log message, warranty number sequence module loaded. This confirms that our code executed successfully and the new module is now registered in the system. So with that confirmed, we are ready for the final step. Phase 6 is where we verify everything in the UI. We're going to open the number sequence wizard and see if our new module shows up. Okay, let's open up our D365 environment. I'll just head over to my local URL here. It usually takes a few seconds to load the dashboard. And here we are. Now I'll click on the hamburger menu. On the top left, expand modules and scroll down until I find organization administration. Under the number sequences group, I'll just click on the number sequences link to open up the form. At the top, there is a generate button. This opens the number sequence wizard. Let me click it. I'll fast forward the loading. Okay, here is the wizard. This first screen is just the welcome page explaining how it finds missing sequences. We don't need to do anything here. So I'll just click next. Now we are on the setup screen. This lists everything missing in the system, which is a lot. To find ours, I'll go to the filter bar type warranty management and hit enter. And look at that, there is a record. I'll verify the include checkbox is marked and then click next. This brings us to the completed screen. It is a short summary list and we can clearly see warranty management right here with the count of 1. That means the system is ready to create our new sequence. So I'll go ahead and click finish. Now we'll have to wait a few seconds for the main form to reload. Once it is back, I'll go to the area column and type warranty to filter the list. And there it is, our newly registered warranty management module. Great, you can see the sequence code and the format right there. Now that we found it, let's click on the number sequence code itself to open the details and make some final adjustments. If we look at the segment section, you'll see we only have one line, alphanumeric with a length of 6. This means our current format is just a plain number, but we want that professional war prefix. So to fix this, I'll click edit at the top. Then I'll come back down to the segments list and click add to insert our new prefix. For the segment type, I'll select constant. Then in the value field, I'll type in WAR dash. This gives our warranty IDs that professional look. Alright, so now you can see the format has been updated and it now properly shows our 4-character prefix followed by a 6-digit alphanumeric value. Everything looks perfect, so I'll just click save, and with that, our custom number sequence for warranty management is fully configured and ready to use. Alright, so to recap what we built today, we created a dedicated warranty management module for our number sequences. We created an EDT for the warranty ID. We extended the NumberSeqModule Enum to add our own module entry. We built a number sequence application module class that registers our EDT. We added a numRef method to our parameter table. We ran a job to officially register our new module in the system. And finally, we verified everything in D365 and configured the custom format. Now our warranty claims can get proper auto-generated IDs. We'll see them as WAR dash followed by 6-digit numbers, starting from 1, then 2, and so on. This keeps our data clean, consistent, and ensures we never have any duplicates. In the next video 11, we're going to build the parameters form. You know, that table of contents form pattern where you have tabs on the left for different setting sections. That is where users will actually configure these warranty settings. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.